Pontiac G6 oil change. This is the 3.9 liter V6. Pretty much the same for the 3.5. Most of the G6s have 3.5s in them. This is a coupe, convertible. You probably have a 4-door, which is fine. Same car, same engine. All right, tools you need for this job. Odds are it's gonna be a 13mm socket. I got my 3/8 wrench, ratchet. I got a piece of cardboard to lay on, so I'm not rolling around in the dirt. You're gonna need an oil filter wrench, and you're gonna need a funnel. I happen to like these locking funnels. I keep it in a bag. You'll see why. You need a pan to catch your oil in, and it's a good idea to have a jug. I put my old oil in for taking to the recycler. One more thing you're gonna need is a finger to click the like button. It takes a second. Like seriously, if you can't hit the like button, are you gonna get tools out of your toolbox? I mean, come on, it's just that little bit of effort. It will kickstart you into wanting to change your own oil. Trust me. Position the floor jack underneath the vehicle here. I do have ramps, but not gonna use ramps for this. It's just not necessary. It's a lot more work in my opinion. I'm also trying out a new product, Castrol GTX Ultra Clean. So this is an older engine. Ram Extra Guard, 9837. Lots of oil filters on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. Going to lift it on the frame here, just under the skid plate in the front there. Again, for safety, always make sure you're on concrete, you know. Jacking up in a gravel driveway is probably not a good idea. And make sure you're on the frame as you're jacking the car up, so you have a stable place. And once you get the car in the air, always have a jack stand for safety. If you're on any kind of incline, make sure you chalk your wheels. I recommend, if your car has over 100,000 miles, that you use a high mileage oil. Not in every oil change, at least every other oil change. It's good for your engine, keeps everything working properly as your engine ages. Drain plug is right here, back behind the oil pan. A 15mm on mine. 15. Another thing I can observe while I'm under here is oil. So it's leaking oil. Odds are from the valve covers. Getting oil on the starter. It's kind of leaking down the sides. Yep. Oil leak, which means valve covers. Somebody's gonna do a valve covers, and it's gonna be me. Let your oil drain. Set your plug somewhere where it won't get dirty and you won't lose it. And it's a good idea to check this rubber little gasket on here. Make sure it's not cracked. And if it is, you can replace it pretty easy. This is a good thing about doing your own oil is let it drip, man. Let this thing drain, I'd say for even 45 minutes, an hour. Like you want to get all that dirty oil out of your engine. You don't get that at one of these jiffy shops. Even taking your car into a shop, they're gonna do an oil change as quick as they can. It's not always good. It's better, like you're doing it yourself, let it drain, let it drip. Do some dishes, pick up that dog doo in the backyard you didn't get to. And once you got it dripping and draining, you're gonna knock your oil filter loose. Usually if you got a pan that's big enough, which I recommend, you could do both at the same time. Let the oil drain into here from your oil filter. Take your handy dandy oil filter wrench and just give it a turn. That's all you need. Spin it loose and it should start draining. There it goes. Draining in both places at the same time. And my engine is still warm, so be careful if your engine's still warm, because that oil's hot. There we go. Trying to splash yourself when you
falls out of here. Yep. Also, I wear gloves. You don't have to wear gloves, but these are from Amazon. They're cheaper than Harbor Freight. So Harbor Freight was gouging us on the gloves during COVID, but now these have come down. These are cheaper from Amazon, at least until Harbor Freight starts lowering their prices. I love the grip they put on these Fram filters too. A lot easier to tighten and to take off. All right, you're gonna want to use your rag to wipe off any excess oil. Another thing is you want to make sure that there's no rubber stuck to this. All right, you want to make sure that you don't, because sometimes, like I say, people don't put the lubrication on the filter, and what happens is that seal will stick, and if you double seal it, it will leak. Guarantee it, it will leak. Sometimes immediately, sometimes over time. Another good thing to do is just to check. See that? Rubber seal is on this filter, which means I'm safe and it's not stuck to the engine still. But you can see too that there's no rubber seal on there. And now we're ready to put on the other oil filter. Hand tight is all you need it. A nice twist. And it is on, installed. I'm gonna put our drain plug back in. That's gonna smoke too. They put that oil filter really close to this exhaust pipe, which is gonna get kind of smoky, odds are. But yeah, so don't get distracted. Make sure you tighten that down. On position. And torquing this down. You can even buy a torque wrench for this, which I recommend if you do it a lot. There we go. Just give it a nice bit of tightness. You don't have to go crazy. You don't want to struggle to get it off, but you want to make sure it's tight and it's not coming out of there. Pull this out. Remove your jack stand, lower the car. And this is where your oil goes, of course. Dipstick, checking your fluid level. And a funnel. I like to keep my funnel in a baggie because the last thing you want is a dirty funnel. You don't want pieces of sand or grit getting anywhere near your funnel where you pour oil into your engine. So the owner's manual says 3.5s take about 4 quarts of oil. The 3.9s about 4.5 quarts of oil. I would do 4 quarts, check the dipstick, and go from there. Clearing away the rest of my mess here. The best way to do this is to turn the jug sideways so it doesn't gurgle on you. If you can find a level surface, it's good to use this little gauge they put on the side of the bottle. It even does liters and quarts. Just pouring the oil sideways. See that? No gurgle. No ka-choo, ka-choo. You don't want to spit oil all over the place. This way the air gets in, the oil goes where it needs to go. Just the way God intended. And now that you have about at least 4 quarts in there, so I'm going to put the cap back on here. Pressure test. I'm going to let it run for a few. Just want to get oil all up inside the engine there. Turn it off. Check your levels. And oil level now. These spiral dipsticks are not my favorite, but there's a reason for it. So you wipe this First, wipe it clean, all the way down, wipe it clean. You want to check for the shiny part. Hopefully you can see this, but that's right there at the top, the shiny part with the oil. And that's how you check your oil level. Level's checked, everything's good. Boom. And there you go, you changed your oil. Good job, I'm proud of you. Now pat yourself on the back, go have a beer or something. But one more thing, don't forget to write down your mileage. Especially if you've removed your stereo, like I have. So you know when your next oil change is.
A little longer than a few minutes later.